Hello bicycles, my name is Halsey and welcome back to another Factorio series, Space Age. This is my second playthrough. I did a previous one in German quite successfully for the first run. Of course, there's always things to improve on. This time in English, with a bit of a twist. We are in a rail world, so the biter or alien expansions should be limited, which I quite like because don't fancy struggling against aliens while coming up with cool designs. Let's see what we have here. This series will be in 3 parts. Actually, it will be 3 dedicated series. The first one is basically all the work we do here on Nauvis, where we will build up a space, we will build up a platform, and then when we reach the point where we can go out into space to other planets, that's where the next season starts, which will cover the inner 3 planets, that being Fulgura, Gleba, and Volcanos, and then the 3rd series after that will cover the outer planets, meaning Aquila, and then everything that lies beyond that border, which I have not covered in any game so far. But first, let's make a start. We have a decent patch around here, some water. There we have a small nest that we hopefully will get around soonish to destroy things. But we need a bit of things here in order to make progress. So let's hack away, and hopefully until this first episode we make decent progress. We are starting in with the first research, or the first research in the labs. Of course, we already covered the first 3 that we just unlocked by smelting copper and iron and crafting a research lab. And as usual, we go for automation and the other easy early on tiers, but also a bit towards our own protection, better weapons and so on, so we can take out the nest down there and breathe a bit easier. Usually with these runs I tend to create my initial base in a manner that it expands and can basically function until the end. And I think maybe this hinders me a bit in making fast progress, because if you want to do it that way, then you basically go and lay out everything instead of just plopping down some smelters, you design a smelting array, have to wait for all the belts to be crafted and so on. And I think in this series I will try to take a bit of a different approach, where this is really just the starter base that we use to produce the materials that we need to expand to the next stage. And this could be an intermediary base, or it could be the final base. Not sure yet. I'll leave that open, but we should not limit ourselves by how we can make progress fast and making things pretty later on. At this point, I think we have gun turrets, we have a bit of ammunition, we have a machine gun, so we should be able to deal with that threat here. And we also have some mods that help me here, like the auto-filling of the turrets. It just puts a few magazines in there, which helps me to faster attack, because otherwise you would have to place it down, fill ammo in it. Probably you get a high amount of ammunition in there, and then you are mentally disturbed if the biters destroy one of the turrets with your valuable ammunition in there. Aside from that, we have Hell mod, we have a mining patch, and I think a squeak through to get through all the narrow spaces that we can have occasionally. But I think we should now think about automating our science production. We will do that down here and that way. Here we need red science. For that we need gears. Let's make them here. And we need copper. So here's the copper. Here's the iron. And that should keep our research queue running as long as we only need red science. And I can focus on expanding here a bit more, running around, collecting coal, putting coal in, collecting iron and copper to transport that over to where we need it. And then probably, maybe once we have electric miners, we want to at least have a provisional smelting setup, so we can get to the point where we automate the production of all the materials that we need to eventually expand our base, like belts, inserters, and so on. For the copper setup, I have switched things around and have the input on the inner belt, because we have half the amount of furnaces, but the layout then is pretty much the same. I think this approach saves a bit on splitters and underground, otherwise it's just the same. And I think now that we have iron and copper here, steel ready to go, we could think about the next step: automation of our signs. Red signs needs copper, needs iron gears, and if we look at crafting speed, gears, half a second, here 5 seconds, so with one assembler for gears we can feed in 10 of those, but we also need gears for the green signs later on. So maybe I'm thinking we have 2 factory for gears, put them on a belt, and then move on further down the line with the red automation. And we probably can do something similar here for the electric circuits, which we will use then for the inserters, which will be an ingredient for the green signs, which hopefully will come along pretty soon. So we will split off here, which means this will be a belt or an underground. Then put those here as well. And then have gears there in here. Gears here, putting out on the belt and eating from the belt. We only need power. Voila. And then here I assume we could split this off and have copper coming onto here, and then we want to have that one further back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will do. That's the input. Output, I think, because up here will be our copper line. So long-handed inserters or exerters. On here, and then there we will have our gears belt. We need power, and more belts. I think we can progress in that direction and have, for example, signs then down here. And with this production here going, we might want to have a few more labs than the 2 that we have down there. I think we will let the signs that is queued up with the materials down there run out and have a new lab set up here that will just boost our research capacity. Now that we actually have green or logistic science unlocked, we can look into a setup how to deal with that. For the red science, that was straightforward. We just could look it up, all had in the same tab. But here we know this takes 6 seconds, then here we have 1 second and a half second, and gears are a half seconds. So it gets a bit complicated. But that's why we have Helmut, where we can see if we want to have an output of about half a bottle per second, we need 6 assembly machines and then only 1 for each of those. And the iron plates we have, of course, we have the gears, and I also have made a setup for the green circuits. So that should not be a problem. We can then add the materials, the inserters and the belts on one lane, and basically put that out on here. So if we have this like that, we could then come in with our combined materials on here and have the output going there. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And of course, we then, if we consider our bus is going that way, we might want to try to squeeze in the production up here. So let's see what I can manage there. The solution looks nice and compact, and with a bit of wiggling we can squeeze the production of the belts and the inserters here on the side of the main bus, and have the input then coming in from this side. So as I said, everything is quite compact, and we get green bottles as a output here, which means we can queue up even more research. And I'm thinking automation 2, engines, then better furnaces, and of course well, basically in the end everything. Let's just queue this up. That should keep us occupied for quite a bit. While we are using the electric minus there, I still have the old setup here just to mine and smelt everything where we had them, and once that's mined clear, we can retire those setups as well. If we have a look at the map, we can see we uncovered quite a bit. There were 2 additional nests up here that I got rid of. The next nearest seems to be that one. Here we have a bit of uranium, not much, but I think that should be sufficient, at least for the start. And up here we have an oil field that has considerable richness. So all is good, and we can conclude this first episode of Factorio Space Age. Until next time, goodbye!